welcome everyone to Cybertopia DNA. This is the third round of the DNA world/city/faction building game we're playing, and tonight I am playing with Cassa, KO, and Vickey, and we are going to be colouring in this wonderful map and describing factions and taking influence points and making NPCs and stuff. So yeah, we're going to dive into it, and we'll start off with introducing each player and telling us a bit about the factions you're going to be playing as. So KO, why don't you go first?
Sure. Hi, I'm KO Myers. I play Bludgeon in the first season of the podcast, and my faction is something that I am calling CRAX, CRAX. It is a collective of people who have fallen through the cracks of this society, some of them by misfortune, some of them by choice. They are people who either couldn't access the services they need or who found the system just in general kind of overwhelming or immoral, and so have chosen to move into abandoned, overlooked, neglected spaces, old transportation tunnels, probably some sewer infrastructure.
Do you reckon they're like a leaderless kind of group? You describe them as a collective?
Probably not leaderless. One of the things that truly sort of anarchist collectives run into pretty quickly is if they insist on doing everything by consensus, it leaves a lot of room for minority views to hijack their decision-making process. Yeah. So I think there is probably some kind of a council representation.
I guess even in non-hierarchical organizations, there's always more prominent voices and stuff, right?
There will be people who gravitate to positions of leadership. I think they try to keep it distributed, but I think there is probably at least some kind of an executive council, probably elected or something like that. But I also think that different parts of it operating in different parts of the city probably have relative autonomy. Like, I don't think they necessarily have a collective will that they're trying to assert onto the city itself. They're just trying to survive, keep themselves safe and secure. And so, you know, each group of them, they would have ways to communicate and they would have ways to share knowledge. But I think that it is distributed in a way, maybe almost like each smaller group is like a tribe, and then they have a kind of a council of tribes if they have to make a big decision, all of them together.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
And so I think each tribe probably has enough autonomy to decide how they want to pick a leader. So maybe some of them have a single executive, maybe some of them have a little council of their own, and then they send a representative to the larger group. But I think they have given themselves room for experimentation.
Yeah, and like different neighborhoods could have their own kind of personalities,
right?
Sort of thing. Yeah, I like that. Cool. All right, Vickey, you're up next.
Oh my gosh, hi. Yeah, so I'm Vickey. I played Subject 5 in the podcast. At the moment, I'm still trying to like workshop the faction, but I'm thinking the Junkers, who are like a black market augmentation racketeer type, don't leave anything out because they'll take it. Kind of almost underground faction type thing.
Oh, you left your car unlocked or even not unlocked? Oh,
I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's unlocked or not. It's gone. Yep. You've turned your back for 5 minutes, gone into the shop, and you come back out again. And yeah, no, it's no longer a complete car. They've taken the best bits and gone.
So are they just kind of generally thieves, or like it's a black market? Is it also like, do they have enforcers and like thugs and that sort of thing? Or
yeah, it depends on which part of the faction you talk to, because some of them will be like, yeah, we're Robin Hood type things, you know, we're stealing from the man kind of thing. You know, the man doesn't provide for stuff, so we're going to take it. But other ones will just be like, yeah, we can make a profit by stealing things and enforcing things.
There's probably like a group in there that is specifically only targets like Amazing Corp or like the big business type.
Yeah,
people.
I think most of them probably do that because it's a faceless corporation, therefore
victimless crime.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, victimless crime type thing. But yeah, I think that's probably where we're going at the moment.
That's cool. I mean, they'll get fleshed out more as we play, so that's all part of the game. Cassa, do you have any thoughts about your faction?
Yes, hi. So I'm Cassa. I played Amelia in Cybertopia, the podcast. And my idea, and I want to do a cult, like Westboro or like Jehovah's, no offense to anyone.
Right.
You know, like they're kind of missionaries, you know, going place to place, trying to shove their religion in your face. So yeah, I was playing with the idea of the name Trinary. Unary, or Unary, something like that. I'm not tied down to one. But yeah, there'll be an overlord.
Are they like by like a religious cult? Is it a god kind of thing, or is it a spirituality kind of thing?
I think spirituality, but there will be like one main leader that he kind of just one day he could decide one thing and the next could be a different thing. So kind of like that.
A bit like a temperamental prophet kind of figure.
Yeah, like he's been touched by something and now he's giving prophet, definitely.
The cyber sun has shown me the way.
Oh.
Wow.
Energy. Yeah. Source code or something.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll take it in turns, starting with KO to pull a card.
Okay, so I got a 3 of spades.
Right, so a spade is a media or PR purpose, and because it is a free, this means it's quite a low value building.
Okay.
So this would be something that your faction CRAX would use for media or PR stuff. So
okay.
pick a building, color it in, and then we'll determine what that building would be.
Interesting. So I was actually thinking about the traffic jam that's happening here. Is it multiple lanes of traffic around a central circle?
This is one that Keith came up with, right? And it's a perpetual traffic jam that is there to basically control the flow of people through the city. And it is, if you imagine, like when you see in films, the like Italian roundabouts where there's just like lanes and lanes of people trying to get in and out of places. And there's some like madcap moped riders dodging in between everything. It's kind of like that.
Okay. Well, so what I was thinking was if it is relatively at the city center, there probably are spaces, between subway lines, for example, that would be easily occupiable.
Right.
And if this is a perpetual slow-moving traffic situation, that it would be a good opportunity for folks to be sort of like knocking on car windows and being like, hey, you could opt out of this.
Wait, is this the people with the squeegees going around and like cleaning people's windscreens while they're stuck in the traffic jam?
I think there's probably some of that, but I think more of it is like, hey man, isn't this a drag? Wouldn't you like to throw off the shackles? So like kind of around and through this.
Okay.
So maybe they've got like, there's some living spaces underneath the street, but then they come up onto the street and get into the traffic jam and just sort of like do a little bit of proselytizing.
Hey man, you've been in this car for like 3 days trying to get through this traffic jam. Why don't you just come and live under the ground with the rest of us? It's
right.
cool.
And or maybe doing like maybe sometimes giving out food and water, like especially if it's really terrible hot or stormy or some other reason why it's dangerous to be sitting in one place for a long time. Maybe they're doing a little bit of, on the spot relief too. Like, so not a big showy, like try to get the cameras to show up and do an impromptu press conference, but doing helpful things for the folks stuck in the traffic jam to kind of burnish their reputation and also and demonstrate that there's another way.
So Keith very kindly called this the Newbon Amazing Interchange.
Yeah.
So that would be the kind of area. Would CRAX have a special name for this area that they kind of reside under and occupy?
I think they would probably just call it the jam.
Nice.
Like if it's been there for long enough and it's a feature, like you know what you're getting into when you dive into the jam, and it's a sticky situation.
I like it. There's a much more colloquial name than the Newbon Amazing Interchange. So yeah, that's cool. So there's 3 things that we consider when you draw a card. So the data is, what is this place? How would a non-player character describe it? What is it used for? What is it referred to as? So we've done that part. Nerves is, what is it connected to? Is it of historical or industrial significance? Who or what passes through this? Is another faction or a ruling party involved in it? And we've kind of also gone through all of that as well, because it is the traffic jam that lots of people pass through or get stuck in, and you involve yourselves in. I'd imagine there'd also be some interactions with Samsara redevelopments as they try to, like, maybe not exactly clear out CRAX from between the cars and stuff, but maybe they like occasionally be like, oh, we need to dig up this section of road, you guys are in the way, sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like a real potential point of conflict of they're trying to redevelop things and we're like, well, hey, we've been taking care of this space because we live here, it doesn't need to be changed. Yeah, so that could be an interesting point of conflict as well. And
then acquisition is, how did this building come to be part of this faction territory? Do they now own it or simply occupy? Is their possession open, or is it a cover for secretive operations there?
Well, it's definitely something that they've occupied.
Yeah, I mean, your whole thing is kind of being squatters, right? So
yes.
We can move on to Vickey with the Junkers. So draw a card and we'll see what we got.
It's 6 of spades.
So this is a media or PR purpose for the Junkers, and that is a mid-ranking card, I guess.
Okay.
So pick a building and let's determine what it means to the Junkers.
Okay. Why would an underground Junkers want PR? Okay. Interesting. They probably don't want to be in the middle. The middle seems a little bit sort of like everyone's taking everything in the middle there.
The middle is a pretty significant part of the city.
Isn't
There's
it?
a lot of high value, high power stuff there because
Yeah.
that's where the financial districts are and the big media centers and that sort of thing.
Okay. Is it possible to have a billboard with it being media and PR?
Yeah.
Or do I do graffiti?
Mhm.
And where would we put graffiti?
I mean, are we talking like a whole side of a building graffiti,
Yeah.
or is it going to be like more subtle kind of tagging kind of graffiti? Or
I didn't know whether to do tagging, because if I did tagging, that's a lot in different places. So I thought maybe like one of those, if you've been to any European cities and seen like the murals on the side of the buildings, and maybe like a QR code halfway down, which people can scan and find out about.
graffiti QR codes is kind of a cool concept. Like that's kind of what you have in the future, right?
Yeah. Some sort of like augmented reality where, you scan your phone these days and like the Pokemon comes alive and things like that. You could probably do something similar to that.
It could be like hidden in the graffiti. It looks like it's just a nice mural, and then you scan it with your phone and it takes you to a secret website or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Contact the Junkers.
Yeah. Or like somebody pops like a secret message type thing. I don't know what they would say, but it would be sort of, if you want cheap parts, buyanycar.com type thing.
Yes. I love it. Yeah. I've got this image of like the mural just changes sometimes and nobody sees anyone changing it, but it just changes subtly and the messages change and the redirect change or whatever.
Yes. So if they've got like a special offer on for a holiday, it'll change slightly, like a 10% discount type thing.
Yeah. All right. So where's this going to be?
I mean, the jam in the middle would be prime location, wouldn't it? Because there's thousands of people going past.
I mean, there's thousands of people there. They're not necessarily passing. So maybe one of the major roads or something.
Yeah. Which one's like a major road?
Or any of the dark grey lines are the major roads in and out of the city, really.
Is there any that's like a major do people come in and out of the city?
Yeah.
Or is it more self-contained?
Yeah, people come and go. I don't think any of them have been defined as like a particularly special road. They're just all of similar relevance at this point in time.
I might do down by the harbour then.
Yeah.
If there's lots of
get some boat traffic as well, maybe.
Yeah, sort of like one of these corner buildings.
Okay, cool.
Something like that. Because I'm thinking it's on an L shape and it's got a road and then the harbour. We could do something like that.
Yeah, it's a good little junction there, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so do you have a name for this or are you just going to be like, it is a billboard? It doesn't need to be a specifically named thing.
I mean, it probably should have a name, shouldn't it? Like every Banksy has a name. I don't know yet.
Okay, that's cool. You can figure it out and write it down later. That's all right. So we know what it is. We've got the data for the nerves. It's connected to transport, basically, right? Like people go past it and see it and may inquire with the Junkers about it. And I suppose that could involve any of the other factions or groups or anyone that would want parts or to hire the Junkers.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Do they own this building or is this just like they are just graffitiing? Like,
no, it's just graffitiing.
And I suppose it's become such a significant bod of graffiti that probably other factions in the city and stuff have just given up on cleaning it.
Well, it'll get cleaned and then it'll come back. So, it's kind of given up on doing that.
Yeah, cool. Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, Cassa, we're around to you.
Yoo-hoo! Okay, let me... 3 of hearts.
So, hearts
So not a
is
spade this time.
a social or community purpose. And again, it's a quite low value card.
Okay. So I first wanted to ask, are there like certain boroughs of this city, like areas where many people like kind of come together, or is it just like every faction is kind of in dispersed?
They're all kind of spread around.
Okay, cool. So it doesn't matter.
The east side of the city seems to be more entertainment focused, I think, and the west side seems to be more residential. The center is the kind of CBD kind of area. You got the industrial area around the docks, but there's also some entertainment and schmoozing kind of waterfront properties, that sort of thing. To the north, there's some leisure kind of stuff. There's a movie studio, a film studio kind of place, and an abandoned pleasure park, and a bunch of stuff like that.
Ah, sweet. Okay, so my card was the social hub, so I'm thinking maybe like a soup kitchen type thing for my cult. I can just pick a smallish, I guess, like right on the harbour. Quite nice. And like,
Sure.
I suppose people that would need food might
Yeah.
come in on the
So
harbor.
the tea faction have quite a presence in the harbour kind of area. So having a soup kitchen around there might line up nicely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll have it around this corner, maybe hidden a little bit.
So is this a front for recruiting or something like
Yeah,
that?
definitely.
Yeah.
They'll have people that are whispering in other people's ears.
People think they're just going to go in and get some soup, and
Yeah.
actually, it's like when you see the Scientology places that are like, come and get a free personality test.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And then they start getting you to talk about yourself and then relating to you. And next thing you know, you haven't spoken to your parents in 4 years and no one knows where you've been.
Oh man, started getting these implants and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't really have many organs left, but yeah. You don't know if you're man or robot.
Get your augments and stuff, you'll be fine.
Yeah, they don't have to be biological. Just
Yeah. So I mean, this is a soup kitchen. Is it targeting the lesser well-off in society?
yeah, definitely. Although I think the cult will have areas that try to target higher society people, there will also always be religion helps people of all walks of life, right? So
Bring people together from all aspects of life.
yeah.
And do they own the building that this is in, or is it like a squatting kind of situation? Or
I would think so. I think they would have enough standing in this society to have a few charitable buildings here and there.
yeah, I imagine every cult has some mysterious financial backers, right? So
Benefit, yeah.
yeah.
Some millionaire that's just a little bit bored.
People would look into, like, maybe Samsara Redevelopments has looked into like trying to acquire this building at some point, and they just can't find out like how many shell companies is this going through. Why is there a soup kitchen on the harbour? We want that for prime real estate. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've definitely got a handful of organs I would sign up to have replaced if we are putting that on the
Yeah,
table.
man. Oh, I need to get new eyes, damn it.
Most of my digestive system I would be happy to part ways with if I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can go back around to KO.
Okay. I have had a 3 of diamonds.
Another 3. How have we had 3 threes already? So diamonds is a financial or commodities purpose.
Okay.
So this could be like supplies or money.
Yeah. I was also thinking harbor adjacent, particularly this little corner out here where there's the corner of the harbor intersects with this road in and out of town. I'm thinking that would be a good place for them to both get like contraband in and out from the harbor, but also then into and out of the city on the roads. So I guess for simplicity's sake, can I just take this building here, down here in the corner? Okay. Say that it is a warehouse shipping space that's
kind of on the outskirts of things.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of town. Maybe the people who own it are willing to look the other way to let them use it. I don't know that it's necessarily that they maintain a huge permanent living presence there, but maybe there are a couple of folks who are there regularly to receive and send out packages in giant quotes. So I'm just going to call it Order Warehouse, intersection of roads and harbor, or even not contraband, I guess, just supplies that they don't want to be on the radar.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to have their own ways of getting things outside of the system, as it were.
Actually, maybe, no, you know what? I'm actually going to switch to this littler one here by the road. Since it's a 3, I think that makes makes sense. A, that it be a smaller building, and B, since it's not something that they would be permanently occupying, it's more just that they have like, I'm picturing it being like, whether it's a robot or an AI computer or a person, someone who is in the management at this business is sympathetic, probably because they're getting bribed a little bit to just occasionally let somebody from CRAX show up and slip a package into an outgoing freighter or that kind of thing. So it being there, like nearish the harbor, but not next to it, probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, so this pink building here, that's owned by the Citizen Safety Patrol, and that's a like vehicle depot for them. So yeah, maybe there could be some crossover there of your guys are slipping packages into their vehicles or like receiving.
Maybe. What was the name of that again?
Citizen Safety Patrol. That is their amazing flight vehicle training maintenance facility. So like their patrol car depot, basically. So there'd definitely be, I'd imagine, some crossover between the groups there, whether it's overt or more a smuggling kind of operation or something. I don't know. I have this image of CRAX being not the most mobile of groups. So if they want to get something from one side of the city to the other, they'd have to like get involved in some sort of courier kind of service or something.
Yeah, I was assuming that there is some kind of mass transit still in existence, so that would be their main mode of moving around. They wouldn't have a lot of private vehicles. I do think that they are either planning to or have just at some point recently legally acquired a building somewhere, because I think part of their aspiration is to build out an alternative infrastructure.
Yeah, kind of go legit.
And offer a more stable lifestyle, not lifestyle is the wrong word, but like a more stable haven for people outside of the mega corporation system. That's at least something I think that they're working toward. I don't know if I get a really...
yeah, if you stop getting freeze.
Yes, if I get a king of something, then maybe that'll be the building that they finally were able to acquire.
Okay, all right. Vicky, why don't you pull your second card?
Oh, yes. 8 of clubs.
So clubs is a technology or infrastructure purpose.
Yay! I was hoping for one of these. My group is all about technology.
Yeah, I mean, you're the Junkers.
Yeah, I know. Because there's some different things I could go. I could go like the sort of a network of computers joined up kind of thing, or maybe some sort of satellite broadcast. I don't know where that would go though. They're not very underground for this underground. This very covert operation.
It could be something that's kind of buried amongst some of the more kind of dense buildings over this way or something, or it could be in between the stacks of residential properties or something like that, maybe. I mean, so the Junkers, they are all about acquiring...
I was going to say, it's going to have to be a storeroom or something, isn't it? A storehouse.
Could be. Maybe it could be a centre where they do up or refurbish some of the parts that they steal and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't actually got a base of operations for them or anything like that yet, have I really?
Yeah, I mean, an 8, the card values only go up to 10 because face cards are NPCs. So 8 is a pretty high value one.
So yeah, I'd probably want... trying to look for a building in those areas you've pinged that would be strategically interesting. I could put it on that one where it's like a crossroads. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking. Sorry.
Cool.
Maybe that building here.
Okay.
Because it's kind of diagonally opposite where I put the billboard. And also I'm thinking it's probably easier to get to.
Yeah, just on the main road and stuff. It's not too far out and not too like close to the really busy areas.
Yeah, it's away from everybody else. Yeah, I'd probably do that as their base of operations, or some sort of like chop shop type garage type thing. I'm thinking Fast and Furious, you know, they always have like a garage that's their base.
Oh yeah, okay. I love that.
And they always sort of do the montages in that like warehouse type thing, and it's always like they get this amazing stuff done in this tiny little room with like hardly any resources.
Yeah, someone like just brings in some complete heap and you're like, yeah, we can mash this together with this other complete heap and have one complete vehicle or something.
Yeah, and then the complete vehicle goes off to do like wins the race. I'm talking like the very early Fast and Furious. You know, they were still racing cars.
Yeah, before they were doing like tanks and shit.
Yeah, before the tanks got involved and Jason Statham turned up with the Rock. I'm thinking that kind of where like they've obliterated the car and then turn up and just like revamp it and it's really shiny. And you're like, how did you do that in that shop?
Yeah, and I suppose they're the Junkers, they're not specifically just vehicles, it could be any kind of technology, right?
Yeah, pretty much anything.
Yeah.
From your iPods all the way through to something like helicopters, maybe. I don't know.
Your eye helicopter. Yep. Okay, and I suppose this is a place where basically only the Junkers go through. Would other factions have involvement in this place, or is this like a secret
probably.
location?
Yeah, because like they've got to sell to people and stuff, and people have got to bring them stuff. So yeah.
Okay. And do they legitimately own this building?
That's a bit hazy, probably, but who's gonna come in and try? Kind of thing.
It's a bit of a grey area, this ownership, maybe.
Yeah, if we're talking like who's got the deeds, we don't know. The deeds were lost in a fire. So, it was a helicopter-related fire, but it was a fire nonetheless.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. All right,
like that.
Cool. Do you have a name for it? Or are you just going to call it the Tech Hub or something?
What do the Apple people call it? Is it like a Genius Bar or something?
Yeah, the Genius Bar.
I'm going to have to call... Yeah, I think Genius Bar or something like that, I think.
Okay. Just go to the other end. It's the Idiot Bar.
Probably.
Cool. All right, Cassa, let's go for your second card.
Yep, here we go. Oh, I got a face card finally. Queen of Diamonds.
So face cards are a little bit different in that you describe a NPC. So a queen is an emissary or negotiator. Diamond is a finance or commodities purpose. So this is an important NPC that you'll name in your group, and rather than selecting a building, you select a neighborhood. So you can circle like an entire block of buildings and be like, this is the area they patrol or the area they control or operate in.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a specific person, it can be a group as well. So the data, nerves, and acquisition for these people are: the data briefly describe the person or group, the nerves is how do they operate in the area and who do they interact with, and the acquisition is what are they trying to gain or achieve.
Okay, so I'm thinking like, obviously there needs to be a priest or priestess or something.
A clergy person or something.
Yeah, and she's kind of the, I like the idea of like the master of secrets type thing. She has a bunch of young kids that do work for her or like find out things.
So it's a finance kind of focus to this person. So maybe it could be that they're getting secrets to extort like money out of, or like get fundraising through the secrets that they learn and that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, like they can use it against people, like blackmailers, maybe.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess pick an area that they'd operate in.
Yeah, area. So like close to the middle.
So I have removed all of the NPCs from the map that have previously been put on, and like when we've completed the whole thing, I'm going to overlay them on top of everyone so we can see where the NPCs are crossing over. So your territory may overlap with someone else's territory. You just don't know about it.
Ah, cool. Okay. I think since it's finance, it would be somewhere closer to the center, right? So is this neighborhood or is that too big?
That's perfect. Yeah. And yeah, if I remember correctly, that is a bit of a financial kind of district area. Basically everywhere around the center kind of is. So that works nicely. Yeah. Any idea of a name for this person? It doesn't have to be an actual name. If you want to call them the Master of Secrets, they could just be the Master of Secrets.
Yeah, or the priestess or something. Something more religious.
Okay.
I think I'm leaning into that. Yeah, so the priestess. Yeah.
And you said they interact with kind of minions who go out and like gather their information and secrets and stuff?
Yeah.
Would they interact directly with the people they're gathering information on?
I think she would. I think they would. Could it be like children? Can I know about children in this show? Yeah, so if they just use a bunch of children.
Yeah, like she could send out the children to get the dirty secrets from unwitting adults, and then maybe she goes to those adults herself and extorts them directly. Yeah. And they're like, I've never met you before. How do you know all this stuff about me? Like, well, my children.
Yeah, that sounds dark. Like, but yeah, I like it. Like, those predatory catcher things, with the kids as well.
Yeah, we're getting into a bit of Oliver Twist kind of situation here.
Yeah.
So what is their ultimate goal? Just to extort money out of people, or also influence?
Yeah, I think, it's going to lead into the Unary overall goal, which is that they're trying to unite the world somehow through this one guy.
Are they trying to like form some sort of hive mind kind of thing?
Oh, perhaps. Yeah. By saying that, not one is above the other. Like, we'll try to, keep people as equal as possible.
We're all equal and the same, and you think like me. Yeah.
Yeah, something.
Oh man, this is dark. Cool. All right. Well, we'll go back around to KO with CRAX.
Yeah, you will. Okay. A 5 of diamonds. Okay.
A bit higher. So another finance or commodities card.
Another finance or commodities.
But this is more, at least a mid-ranging sort of level for you.
Yeah. So I think this is probably also going to be somewhere in the outskirts of town, although in a different direction. I think this is going to be a spot where they have, maybe this is one of the buildings that they've acquired, and this is like a greenhouse and farmer's market kind of thing, where they sell some stuff to kind of keep it running, but the primary goal is to create foodstuffs that they can distribute to the folks who they're taking care of.
Is it kind of more of a barter and trade sort of thing rather than like money?
I think it's both. Okay. I think that there is some of the like bespoke organic produce to draw people in, people who don't know what the codes are, to just come and, I got these really great organic leeks, and they were only $16 a piece. But for folks who are in the know and who are part of the organization, can come and either barter or do some work, or if they're really in desperate need and don't have the option, can just get some food.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to be someplace that has a building and a little bit of a lot where stuff could be growing.
I kind of like the look of this area for that sort of thing there. You got this building in the middle of the block here.
Like maybe here?
Yeah. So this area is like a residential area, and this bit's a bit more of a leisure area. So you're kind of in a nice in-between spot there. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like farmers market, that's the data. The nerves is that you get both people from within the organization who are coming to exchange goods and services, but also people from outside who are coming to buy the bespoke organic produce and that. And you said they legitimately own this?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's run as kind of a co-op kind of thing, but
like it's probably a registered business.
Yes.
Probably the Citizen Safety Patrol have it on like a ledger as being a legit business. Cool. Okay. All right, Vicky, let's have another one for you.
A 5 of clubs.
Okay. That is technology or infrastructure again.
Ooh,
a
okay.
more middling sort of card here.
I think it would have to be another... Do I go for another chop shop type thing? Maybe on the other side of the city?
Maybe it could be a more of a storage space or something.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
before stuff goes to the main chop shop, it gets put here to be like sorted or something.
Yes. So probably something down by the harbour, because I take it all the trade goes in and out of the harbour.
There's definitely significant trade that goes through the harbour, yeah.
Probably pick one of the smaller buildings in the harbour, somewhere like that. There.
Yeah, a bit more innocuous off the main strip.
Yeah, just an abandoned building that nobody uses.
I imagine you like the Gone in 60 Seconds thing of this is the place they just like zip the cars into when they've like first grabbed them.
You can see my influence, can't you?
We're so 90s.
But yeah, the sort of storage facility, crates of different sizes. You don't know what's in there. Think like the end of Indiana Jones when there's like all those different crates and things. But looks very abandoned from the outside. Like all the windows are boarded up and things.
Is this a building that only the Junkers know about?
Yes. Tentatively. I mean, it's going to be one of those buildings that everybody walks past because it's kind of, it isn't on a main street.
I wonder if maybe like that would be somewhere like they might send someone if like someone requests something obscure. They're like, just go and look in the storage shed. There's probably something in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And do they own this? Or are they just squatting or something?
Again, it was a helicopter accident. Nobody knows for sure. But yeah, there's probably some dealings done with the faction that does the building and repairing.
Oh, Samsara,
thank you.
Yep.
I'm sure there's some sort of backroom deals being done for something. Maybe, you don't mention us and maybe your bulldozer carries on working. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe this is like a building that Samsara is earmarked, but they can't get to it yet. So they're like, yeah, you can look after it for now, sort of thing.
Yeah.
We'll keep it off the books.
I like that.
Cool. All right. Zipping through. Cassa, we're back around to you.
Ooh, okay, 4 clubs.
All right. Another tech or infrastructure.
Okay, tech could be considered like a education, re-education center.
Oh, man. Yes.
Like a clinic. School. I don't know. I'm still not sure which one I want to lean into, but yeah.
An indoctrination center.
Yeah, but it's disguised as like a tutoring thing. Like people send their kids there after schools and stuff. Yeah. So where should I put it? Somewhere close to the center. We'll have to have money to go there, I suppose. So.
But it's quite a low ranking card. This is just a 4, so maybe it might be. That's an okay spot. Yeah, I was gonna say not directly in the center.
Like a bit further then, just to make sure, since it's 4. Oh, this long one here.
Little College of the Unary.
Yes. So they do like after school classes.
Maybe it's like night school there as well.
Night school, yeah. Mature students. And I guess maybe you don't know what they teach. Like people just don't really talk about their classes very much, but sometimes you'll just see people go in and come out.
If you were to ask them what happened in there, they'd be like, I don't actually remember.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool and scary.
Yeah, I'm learning. What are you learning? I don't know.
It'll come out eventually. Yeah.
Is this another legitimately owned building, but the ownership is somewhat shadowy?
Yeah, definitely something in the foundation charitable thing that you can't get a tax on. So that's mainly reason the main reason they did it like that.
Yes. Oh man. Oh, it's a charity. Oh god.
And non-profit, yeah.
Yep.
But
of course. Well, non-profit in that nobody knows what profits they're getting, but they probably are some.
Yeah, probably taking their blood or something.
Oh god. Oh man. All right, KO. I see you pulled the 9 of spades, so finally a decent card for you.
I did. Another media or PR thing. It's challenging. I guess there are similar communication challenges to a cult in the sense that you don't want to reveal the full breadth of the organization.
Right, it doesn't have to be external comms, right?
Oh, okay.
They're gonna have some sort of communications network within themselves, right?
I see. Okay. Thank you. That's a helpful way to reframe it. I was assuming that meant external facing. Okay, well then in that case, you said this sort of quadrant here, like below the city center, is more of a financial. Is there a tech-y district?
Yeah, kind of to the north of the center, like this area is kind of techy.
Okay. I'm thinking specifically a place that would have like telecom, like cell phone company headquarters or internet providers.
Yeah, I think there actually is something exactly like that.
What I'm picturing is it is a spot where they have tapped into a telecom or data network, and they are piggybacking on it and using that to enable communication between both their members and their, I keep thinking the word cells.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say communities because I don't
Yeah.
want them to sound like terrorists.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like this part of that building is either underground or it's a forgotten space that shares infrastructure with that, probably like a wireless data network. And so that they can hide their data traffic in the big, but of course, I mean, data traffic at this point can be voice and video and everything, so it can all be data. So yeah, they communicate with themselves.
It's like a private central server kind of thing.
Yes, but yeah, they're hiding their data in legitimate signals so that they can be then pulled out and read by.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
And this is very much parasitic. Like they've found a space on a schematic where there's empty space in a adjoining wall or whatever, and they've built themselves a little tap, a room where they can have a couple of people just monitoring things.
Do you think they're also using this to steal people's information or insert like messages to people or something?
I think the potential is there for them to be reading the data that other people, like legit users, are sending. I don't think that they do necessarily, although I think they would be willing to, if it presented an opportunity as something to trade, right?
Yeah.
If one of the other factions was like, I need data on this thing or dirt on this thing, can you find it in their data stream? They might be willing to do that, not to excess, but if it would settle a dispute or something that they could trade for some technology that they needed, for example, I think they would be willing to do that. I don't think they make a practice of it necessarily because they're not necessarily looking to blackmail people.
Yeah, it's just a potential source.
Yeah, so it's a resource that they don't exploit unless they really need to, but I think would be willing to if they had to.
Okay. Is there a name for this place, or is it just kind of not really spoken about?
Well, they would need to have some way to refer to it. That's a good question.
And you don't have to come up with something right now. You can just write into the doc if you think of it later.
I'm just going to put the closet for the time being.
It would be good to know if it's like a kind of clandestine kind of thing, or it's a known location. Is it a legitimately owned property, like this data server business?
So yeah, I think the company that I keep wanting to use the word symbiotic because I want it to seem less one-sided, but no, they're definitely like pirating this data channel.
Yeah.
That company is legit. In fact, I think is one of the bigger ones. Their use of it is definitely illegitimate and not sanctioned at all. So they're concealing themselves. It's very much parasite host kind of thing.
It's like a front kind of thing.
Not even a front. I think it's like they physically have found a way into.
Oh, right.
Because I'm picturing it still assuming that data operates in a way similar to the way it does now, where there is wireless connectivity, but at its root, there is still physical cables that connect data centers all over the world.
Sure. I'd imagine there's like citywide Wi-Fi kind of thing, but you're still going to have the infrastructure to support that for data coming and going from the city or to the city.
Right. And so this is not a huge footprint, but they have physically found a way to tap into those data cables coming and going, and then over the wireless network, they can insert data traffic into the wire so that it goes to the wireless network around the city. So yeah, like I'm picturing it being very much like they found a space under the floor in one and, drilled up and plugged something into a port clearly I'm an experienced hacker.
Yeah, we'll say this sort of thing's possible. That's cool. You're building the world, so.
So They physically have a back door into the site that they can get in and out of, and they have a couple people there. Like I said, maybe they have someone monitoring it remotely, but then if something goes wrong, they can get in there and look at their connection.
Yeah, cool.
I put the closet down here, and I think that's,
I like it, yeah.
that's maybe even it. Like they've got a hatch into a janitor's maintenance closet that happens to be an adjoining wall of a server.
Kind of a literal back door kind of thing.
Right, yeah. So for acquisition, I'm just going to put it hidden within a legit business.
Cool.
I don't know if you picture it being the current standard where basically Comcast has a monopoly in one city.
I mean, yeah, I think it's probably very much like that because of the mega corporation sort of way this world has gone.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then, yeah, this would be whatever one of the major data providers for the city. It is their facility, and then CRAX had found a way to get in and pirate from it.
Cool. All right, Vicky, gonna have another club?
I hope so. I'm like,
You're just hoarding them.
no!
Oh, it's a low finance.
Oh, finance. Well, they don't need money.
Finance or commodities. So, yeah, it could be supplies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's very low.
True.
So duos, diamonds, commodities. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I guess, like, how do they get their tools and stuff? Because, like, you can steal all of the parts and things you need, but...
Well, they'd probably steal them as well.
Yeah, true.
I think it's more like a make, do, and mend rather than a grabbing the most high tech of stuff. So it's kind of like, the only thing I can think of is like when you have those computers and the laptops and stuff, and they're all like in different parts, but it still works, but it's not necessarily in a nice looking case.
Right.
It's just very jankily put together, and there's like a motherboard suspended on cables and zip ties and stuff.
And I did computer science at uni, and I knew people who had computers made like that.
Yeah. Exactly like that. I'm saying nothing. I'm not telling you what my first computer looked like. The case was way too small. So yeah, it's just like probably like very rusted parts, and you'd kind of like pass me the gizmo that does stuff, and it just doesn't look like it's supposed to, kind of thing, because it's been hacked together from different parts.
Okay, cool. Wait, did you pick a building for this?
No. Do I need to pick a building for this? It just feels like a very sort of, this is how flavour it is kind of thing.
I mean, maybe just pick a small spot somewhere, like...
A teeny one, a little teeny one. Maybe that teeny one up there. Yeah, that's the smallest one I saw when I was looking around.
So what is it they're doing up there with this stuff? Like this jankily put together machinery? Is it like some sort of low-end blockchain crypto farm or something?
Wow, all the words. Yeah, probably. It's probably just like looking at how to put stuff together to create new tools and systems and things that would work, not necessarily better, but maybe make life for hackers or tools of the trade, shall we say, for people who maybe walk around and take stuff very quickly and easily, might need stuff that hides under coats or retracts into sleeves and things like that. So
I guess
that
it's
sort of
the
stuff.
lower end of this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
Do people actually go there, or is it just a virtual space?
I think it's probably just a virtual space. I think it's probably a space that exists in every part that the Junkers have some hand in. Like I say, I think it's like theming vibes more than this is their base of operations and here's this, that and the other kind of thing. It's more of that's their ethos of cobbling stuff together, I think.
Cool. Okay.
Just.
And it's a small crappy kind of shed kind of thing. Do they just own this, or have they
100%.
built it as a lean-to against somewhere?
Yeah, it's probably one of these tin sheds that kind of just appeared in a space, like, a little bit of waste ground, and then suddenly a shed goes up at the back, and there's obviously tyres everywhere because these things need tyres and scrappy bits of grass. And then like a guard dog turns up, like a big Alsatian that kind of just sits there and watches you. And then like some dude will just like stood there outside kind of thing. It's just one of those places.
Yeah, great. Love it. Okay, Cassa, let's have your next one.
Ooh. Oh, I'm getting all the face.
Ooh,
I feel lucky.
okay.
A jack of hearts.
So, jacks
What's
are
heart?
ruffians or troublemakers. And
Ooh.
hearts is social community. So you've got a sociable thug.
Okay, strangely, I kind of think he's like a traveling jester salesman kind.
Okay.
Yeah, jester. He's hired for parties and stuff, but he's not all there like.
He's nominally an entertainer.
Oh no! Let it be a
Ooh.
troupe then. I could be a group of people, right? So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a traveling troupe.
Oh my god, your cult has a circus.
Yeah. Why not? Ah, this is the reason I love this game because they're just things that I've always wanted, and now they become
man.
reality. So
I'd never considered
yeah.
a futuristic circus. Okay.
They do all these cool. There's like like freak shows, strongmen, bearded ladies, and then all these kinds of things. And yeah, so it's a whole
So
group.
are they like giving like subliminal messages during the shows and like handing out helpful flyers? Like if you need someone to talk to, come to our church and shit. Like,
the type of flyers where like there's like literal tiny text on it that's like saying secret messages to you.
yeah, you don't realize that you're taking it in, but you are.
Yeah, and like hypnotizing things. Yeah, and the posters hypnotize you at these events. So, and then the area, I think it'll be. I mean,
if they're a traveling group, like you could literally just circle the whole city and just be like, they are always just moving around.
Well, I won't do that for the sake of keeping the map looking pretty, but I trust that you, Ben, will remember this so that people don't forget the traveling circus. It will have a good name. I'm still thinking about it, but yeah, so they're bringing together and trying to spread their love for this cult.
Wow, your faction is fucked.
They're so cool. Come on.
I love them.
Thank you.
A very much unexpected group. It's perfect. Very different to all of the others. It's wonderful. Okay, so we've got the data of who they are. They interact with basically everyone. General public, I guess. Like the unwitting families and stuff.
Less of the higher class, because I don't know if you've seen any billionaires go to circuses and fun fairs.
I don't know, maybe they put on private shows every now and again and stuff, right?
Yeah, they're for hire as well,
The VIP arena tours.
Yeah.
And I guess, again, what they're trying to gain or achieve is kind of recruitment and, like you said, subliminal messaging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, wow, cool. All right. So next one will be the final round. So this fifth and last card for KO. Let's have a good one.
What? Ooh.
Oh,
hey, my first heart card too. So now I have.
We said a good one. So
nice.
Yeah. So a king is an organizer or coordinator. Though they are a king, they don't necessarily have to be like the leader or anything like that.
Right.
But like it is a significant person. And heart is, again, a social or community purpose.
Social or community purpose. Okay.
So an organizer or coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be like your executive council, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you said this will get a region of influence?
Yeah, you can circle a neighborhood. Like maybe it would be the neighborhood that they meet in when they congregate or whatever. Like,
yeah. So I think probably that's interesting. I
wonder if it would be like a collection of buildings and they never meet in the same building twice. Like
maybe, although I don't know about that. I think that I'm also wondering how much of it is in-person meetings too. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it around this area.
Oh, well out the way. Okay.
Because I think with the market and greenhouse being here, this is their first foray into like a legit physical infrastructure. They located it here because they had several. Boy, that's a wonky ass drawing.
It'll do.
I was trying to. It goes whoop whoop here in the corner. So like, yeah, being here because either they found the right building in a place where they already had several different smaller communities, and so it was easily accessible, or the other way around. But I think it's probably the former, where this is a place in the city that is all this empty open spaces. Like that is places that have fallen into some disrepair.
Is this like an area they're trying to turn into like a commune or something?
That's what I'm thinking. Like they have their usual hidden underground or, in tunnel kind of thing communities. They have several of them in that area. And so now we've bought a building here. We're setting up a legit organization or, a legit front, for lack of a better word. This is the area now we're going to try to start putting down some roots. And as older, buildings that maybe come on the market, maybe we can afford to buy them and turn them into something community oriented. Or if there's, buildings that are abandoned that they have moved into, then maybe they start surreptitiously repairing them or rehabbing them, that kind of thing. So yeah. And I guess, in this neighborhood too, then is where I'll have to have a think about the physical meetings. But I think in that space is where the executive council meets.
That's the focus of their like future development sort of thing, right? Like
Right.
that's where they're figuring out what they're doing next and how they're expanding and legitimizing themselves. I get you. Cool. What a great last card to draw.
Really.
Let's see if Vicky can keep the run
Oh,
going.
don't put this on me. Don't put this on me. That was an amazing last card. Don't start this. Okay, there we go. An ace.
It's a diamond, which is a finance or commodities card, and it is the lowest possible number. So what we discovered with Keith's one was that if you get an ace or a very low card, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a nothing building. It's just a building that is not particularly good for your organization. So what do the Junkers do? Maybe it could be something that has been very financially bad for the Junkers.
I think that, yeah, for sure. Could I do like an abandoned block of flats or something somewhere where they thought they could turn into like maybe different spaces going up rather than...
Yeah.
And it's just not worked out.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of rot through the building.
Oh my God, you know what this makes me think of? There was like a vertical car park kind of building in Edinburgh years back, and it was one of these automated systems, and it broke down, and for years people had cars stuck in this building, like a skyscraper kind of thing, just full of cars that nobody could get in or out of.
I need to look this up. But yeah, something like that. I didn't realise, automatic car park, but it's broken and lies abandoned.
It was maintained by the Junkers, of course it's broke.
Thanks. Wow. Oh my gosh, they've only been like in existence for like 2 hours and you're already dissing on them. It's not their fault, they're working with what they've got.
No, this is fair. Like someone's just put in the wrong circuit board or something and it's just fried the whole system.
There's a comma in the wrong place.
Oh no.
Is what normally happens. I'm thinking like something like that there because it's near the districts.
Okay.
I think you said one of them was like a retail nearby.
Yeah, something like that.
I think. But yeah, I think it's just like a building that doesn't work. So it's kind of like a thorn in the side. If anybody mentions the Junkers, they go, oh yeah, that fucking building, yeah, kind of thing. So there you go.
Oh, we've all got to have one.
Yes, definitely. We can have that. It's fine.
That's cool. How did they get this building?
I think this is the one building they bought legit. This is the one time they decided to go legit and buy it. And this is what's happened, and it's caused all this downfall.
And what goes in and out of it is nothing.
Yeah, it literally sits there and rotting away.
Oh, dear. Cool. Love that. And finally, Cassa. Let's finish off with a big one.
Okay, it's gonna be like a 2. Oh, I've been so lucky with these cards.
Wow. You are now rivaling the T-Colt.
Ooh.
Because the number of face cards you get is the amount of influence basically you have over the city. So both you and Mark have now got 3 people. So a queen, again, is an emissary or negotiator. And this is a tech or infrastructure purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing with the idea of like a museum thing where they, show special things that they say have powers and whatever to try and, attract people to come and work for our Lord and Savior. But it's got to be a person or group of people. Okay, I mean, it's quite easy. I'll just do my little group of missionaries.
Okay, yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, so they like Boy Scouts-ish kind of thing.
So they kind of got to be tech focused. So maybe there'd be, how Boy Scouts used to go around and like try and sell people like encyclopedias and stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe it'd be like that, but they'd like selling cultish tech.
Like instead of crystals, the whole crystal phase that is still around.
Shit.
You have like pieces of junk that they tell you are imbued with some kind of special power or whatever. They kind of fizzle and light up, but it's just plastic, right?
Like
and
a circuit with loads of LEDs on it.
Yeah.
You hold it in a certain light and they glow and you're like, oh yeah, this is doing shit.
Yeah. I don't know if I want them to be leaning towards like the suits and ties kind of preppy missionaries or like shaman type voodoo kind, but
this cult is wild.
yeah, we one or the other. I'm trying to see what kind of direction he wants to go for, she. But yeah, so yeah, they're selling all this stuff and they're charging extortionate amounts for it.
Of course.
Yeah.
What kind of area do you think they'd be operating in?
Residential, yeah. It would be knocking on doors.
I think the residential side seems to be kind of the west side of the city.
So the one with the most prettiest looking buildings, I suppose, would be this one. Okay. But would they be able to go around all of the
It could be a
residential
bigger area.
area?
It doesn't have to be just one block.
Oh,
if
okay.
you want them to be kind of wider spread,
Yeah,
and they operate in a
maybe just-
larger area too.
Yeah, within the whole of the residential area, I would say. Yeah.
And what is it they're trying to gain from these missions? Is it, again, another recruitment kind of thing? Or
I think they would use it to fund themselves. It's technology and infrastructure. So could I like turn that and say like they're trying to fund their infrastructure by like selling this mystic idea of something that's supposed to help them but doesn't?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they're taking around this, like you said, junk technology, it's not real technology. It doesn't really do anything, but it's still technology of some sort. But yeah, that fits.
Yeah, I like the idea that they also don't believe that it's so special or whatever, but because their leader has told them that it is some magic rock sent from some cybertopic world, that they really want to sell this stuff now. So
I like it. Yeah, kind of. It's more about making the connections with people than what the actual item is.
Yeah, but I mean, it could lead to then the item being a bad item, right? Something hackable or evil.
Oh, maybe they're like sneaking physical malware into people's homes and stuff.
Yeah,
like giving out a USB disk sort of thing.
Yeah, being able to like spy and stuff. Technology. Yeah.
Oh man, wait, this isn't MLM, isn't it? This is one of those pyramid scheme kind of things.
Exactly.
Go around to their houses, like, we'll show you all this great stuff. It's going to change your life, and then you go and give it to your friend, and it will change their life too. Everyone's going to be so much happier in this neighborhood after this.
And there's no leader, except the leader.
Leader.
The one that gets the most money. But yeah, that's my
wonderful. What a card to finish on. What a brilliant last run that was. Okay, so now what we do is, I mean, Cassa by far has the most face cards. So if this was just this session being played, that would mean that her faction, the Unary, has the will of the people in effect, because this is the last session we'll be running of this. You'll be sharing the will of the people with the T faction, which is essentially another cult.
Ooh, well, I mean, I'm not surprised that both cults were the most popular.
I was never envisaging that Cybertopia would end up in a cult sort of world, but apparently we are, so that's the way it's gone. Wonderful. Yeah. But then you also add up the numbers from the cards that you've drawn. Face cards don't mean anything, but you can then see how much you've gained in terms of technology or community and that sort of thing. So KO, you'd have 3 + 9, 12 in media and PR and 8 in finance.
Gotcha.
So yeah, funnily enough, the kind of Squatter faction has a fairly decent kind of finance and supplies line and a pretty decent PR rep. The Junkers have quite a lot of technology.
Yeah.
Not a lot of finance, but not no finance. Like
it suits. It seems to fit.
And then the cult is more a personality thing than a property thing, which completely tracks.
Yeah.
The cards, the game tells a story.
Exactly.
We're just following.
That's why I love both this game and Cybertopia. The game tells the story, and we're just here for the ride.
Indeed.
Well, this was fantastic. I am looking forward to rounding this all up and figuring out what the state of the world we've been left in will be going into season 2. This is, like I said, the last session we'll be running of this game, and we've coloured in a fair chunk of the map and developed a whole bunch of new NPCs that you lot will get to choose who you want to interact with as your characters in season 2. So if you want to go and check out this cult as Amelia, you'll be able to go and do that.
Hell yeah.
Be able to each of you decide if you want to go to any of these areas or any of these specific buildings and stuff. So yeah, really looking forward to the next stages of this all. And now that we've done the third and final game of DNA, we can actually get into running Cybertopia season 2.